Hey, Mandy.
Oh,
Welcome
hey.
back. Hey. Are we a Deppite? Are we Deppites? That's what I was reading. The Umbrella Guy or somebody like that was calling us Deppites. All of us who follow the Justice for Johnny, this stuff. I think everybody, some of you in the chat might be looking out for everything that Johnny did for the week. Had a good week. What do you think, Mandy? Did he have a good week?
It's crazy. Yeah, it's popping
It's
off for sure.
It's definitely popping up. Thank you all for coming over here from before. It's nice to see so many of you hanging out with us. Disclaimer, this is not going to be unbiased. Usually my legal stuff is very unbiased and I try to give everybody a fair shake. But there's no hiding my dislike of Miss Heard. There's just no way I can do it. After years of looking at this evidence, after years of waiting on this trial and going through everything, I have turned. I mean, I never was for her. I think she hijacked a movement and beat a man with it. But that's my personal opinion. I just want to put that disclaimer out. If you're here for a fair shake for Amber, you can exit stage left because it ain't going to be. This is justice for Johnny Depp. It's going to be all about this, showing what happened all week, which really wasn't good for her and really was good for him. And Mandy and I track this down. Mandy is so much better at remembering the minute details than me. And she is immersed in this. But we follow people like shout outs to Laura and Jax on Twitter, and to the Monster Podcast that does the Road to Fairfax. We cannot praise them enough for the work that they're doing. Also, the Umbrella Guy, LegalBytes, and also Popcorn. Did you see that today? This week, Popcorn Planet did some excellent reporting this week that we were watching also. And it's been, I mean, I've been doing nothing but watching Johnny stuff like every day. There's been so much. There's been so much going on. But on that, why don't we go ahead, Mandy?
Tug has been doing that. Umbrella Guy has been doing like 4 or 5 hour live streams in the afternoon.
I had to leave his live today to come do my own, and I'm like, damn it, dude! I gotta leave. Like, come on. Yeah, he was still going. It was like 3 hours in, and he was still going. I'm like, They do. They drag out those lives. Oh, Umbrella's on a long one right now, John. I think he was 3 hours in when I left, and to do my Am I the Asshole?
All right.
All right. So where do you want to start? Let's start with, What do we got here? You wanted to start with,
yes,
I believe, Exhibit A, right?
Exhibit A.
Was that Exhibit A?
I'm gonna
let us start with.
So yep. While that's pulling up, I'll read the top part of it. This is the motion for sanctions from Johnny to Amber. Plaintiff John C. Depp, its motion for sanctions for failure to comply with a November 8, 2021 order. And a quick summary of the November 8, 2021 order, I'm not going to read, I'm just going to paraphrase, is that Amber was supposed to turn over her devices before November 30th. She needed to turn over her devices so that her person could get the data off of them. Then that data was supposed to go to a third party lawyer that was already named and already assigned by the court. And then that third party lawyer was supposed to go through the stuff and check off what was important and what wasn't important, what was relating to the case, specific times and dates. And then he was supposed to give that information to Johnny's team.
Exactly.
And Johnny's team, we are going to just clear a little.
I get to read. I get to do one of my favorite things. I got a cup of coffee. It might be the middle of the night instead of first thing in the morning, but upside down world that I live in lately. This is one of my favorite things. So on Exhibit A, this is the order. Okay.
This is the original order. So hold on just a second. Let me scroll.
Yeah, where do we want to go down? Well, I just want to point out here that defendant's motion was denied, okay, and that the plaintiff's motion is granted in here, as far as this stuff goes. We're going to scroll down. What part do you want me to start reading on?
My bad. Exhibit B. Sorry about that.
Oh, here we go.
That was me.
We're going to be... This is the one. She wants me to read the declaration of Brian Neumeister. Okay, so you ready? My name is Brian Neumeister. I am a court-certified video, audio, and digital photographic forensics and technical expert and the CEO of USA Forensic LLC. I have been retained by Mr. Depp in this matter. I have extensive experience collecting, analyzing, and producing electronically stored information, ESI, in law enforcement and legal proceedings, including approximately 600 cases in the last 4 years alone. I have over 41 years of audio-video professional experience and 20 years of experience testifying and consulting for federal and state governments, agencies, prosecutors, defense attorneys, Fortune 500 companies, and individuals in a variety of aspects concerning analysis of photographs, audio and visual recordings, phone and text messages, and other digital data. This declaration is based on my personal knowledge. The court-ordered deadline for completion of the forensic imaging was November 30th of 2021. To date, some forensic imaging of Ms. Heard's devices has occurred, but no photographs have been produced to me for my review. On or about February 11th of 2022, my colleague, Matt Erickson, received a communication from Tyler Swassey, one of Ms. Heard's expert colleagues, in which Mr. Swassey stated that there are still 8 or 10 forensic images of backup files from Ms. Heard's iCloud that need to be parsed. Analyzing this data is a time-consuming process, and the delay has already rendered it extremely difficult to complete that analysis before trial. Further delay will further increase the difficulty of doing so. I declare under penalty of perjury that the foregoing is true and correct, executed on this 18th day of February, 2022. So, the forensic expert says, they didn't give me the shit to analyze, so I can't analyze it. Right. So sanctions, Johnny's asking for sanctions, and I don't blame him, right? I don't blame him. Okay. Now,
keep going. Keeps going.
She wants me to do C too. Okay, Exhibit C. Here we go. Yep. All right. Time for a sip of coffee, and in we go.
Can you do me a favor?
Yes.
Hold on 2 seconds. Stop for just a sec. Can you go ahead and mod me?
Can I what? Mod you?
Yep.
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
Okay, I would have because you were, but I just didn't know if you wanted to on this.
I don't want to be a mod ever, so you can take it away when we're done, but just hook a sister up for a few.
For links, you might as well keep it till the series is done. You don't have to mod though. How's that? Compromise?
I'm
What's
gonna
that? Yeah. You're gonna mod? Okay.
I am.
What's going on?
Don't worry about it. Just keep reading.
Okay. Okay, thank you. All right, so this says kind of the same thing. Okay, so of course we know his name, right? I don't have to read all that again. Okay, all right. We're going down to number 5 of this part 2, which is this is another declaration from Brian. Okay, as set forth in the protective order, Ms. Heard's designated forensic expert shall perform forensic imaging of the requested material on a date agreeable to the parties, but no later than November 30th of 2021, November 8th, 2021. Or for the order, number 4, the forensic imaging of Ms. Heard's devices did not begin until December 13th of 2021 and resumed again on January 10th. Yeah, Krabby, kill away. Yeah. I did not receive any data that was extracted from the devices until March 2nd, 2022. As of the date of this declaration, March 22nd, 2022, I am still receiving data from the extraction of these devices. Wow. One encrypted drive of photos was sent to me without the correct password necessary to access the contents, so the drive needed to be resent. On another occasion, I received the files without the raw photos and not in the agreed format. Further, Mr. Ackert and Mr. Swazi, Ms. Heard's retained expert, used unlicensed and outdated software to image the devices, including Celebrite and Microsoft Excel. More specifically, they are using an unlicensed 2010 version of Microsoft Office. Their key software, in this case, Celebrite, is also unlicensed, which means it is outdated and obviously not supported for updates by the manufacturer. We did not discover that they were using unlicensed Celebrite until February 24th of 2022, at which time I declined to approve their work as requested in an email from them. To date, there are approximately 58,623 photographs that I have received. A fair percentage of these photographs are obviously not of Ms. Heard, including photographs of purported property damage, Mr. Depp, and text messages. Per the court's November 8th, 2021 order, Mr. Young was supposed to mark as irrelevant any photographs that were not of Ms. Heard. See November 8th of 2021 of the 2021 order. Further, the imaging of these devices as I received them is something that I have never seen before in my professional experience in performing forensic imaging without direct access to the devices or their forensic images. For example, there are 12 images which visually look the same and indicate that they are a directly photographed image, though the sizes and orientations are different. These original photos should all hash with one another. The hash is a digital fingerprint of the photo, but they do not. The answer to these questions may be in their extraction, but their software was unlicensed and outdated, so it would have to be rerun on current software to be forensically valid. Also, some of the EXIF data has dates of when the photographs were taken, which do not make sense. For example, the EXIF data for some photos indicate they were taken in the 70s or the 80s, even though EXIF data was not invented until 1995. The anomalies in the EXIF data cannot be attributed to unallocated space or default to the normal epoch data that there is in EXIF error. Based on the data I have received, made on unlicensed and outdated software, I am not able to opine as to the authenticity of the photos. I declare under penalty of perjury that the foregoing is true and correct. Executed again on this March 22nd of 2022. And there's his letterhead. Damn, Amber, really? Come on, Amber.
So yeah, it's a lot. And there's like his full breakdown. I just loved that, of like 40 years of professional full-time audio video experience, computer recovery. I mean, he's just a super intelligent person, and this is what he does. And it's crazy to me. So basically, here we are. We're 6 days,
right?
Not even 6. My gosh, you guys, it's been a week. Some of y'all know, 4 days, and it's a trial. And he hasn't even gotten to the point of being able to see it. So let me bounce over
I like this compliment from Icarus. There could be only one explanation: a time traveling photographer. Yes, because like the XF data from like 1995 when it was invented, and they're saying in the 70s and the 80s it has data. Like, who's messing around here? Like,
Right. So where we are with that is, okay, here's the deal. Either we judge, this is what we ask you. Either don't allow this evidence or allow this evidence. But, oh, I'm sorry, dog. It's me. I suck at this whole life thing. He's like, Dad. Either don't allow this evidence or allow the evidence in, but let us say that it's been manipulated. So, you know what I could do? Hold on a second.
Yeah, you're crackling just a little bit. It might be you're moving the mic or the. I'm sorry.
Send the link to our Discord DM real quick.
Send what link?
The StreamYard link.
Oh, you're gonna go out and come back in. All right, hold on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, so
let me find you here.
So that's sort of where we are. So the question, I guess, would be, what's the pros and cons? Do you want to keep the evidence in and then be able to just hammer that it's manipulated, or do you want to get rid of the evidence and I don't know. What do you think? What do people think?
What do you people think? I don't know. It does to me look very, very, very shady. It does. Are you back? Is that you?
Yep. How's that?
That was really weird because I just like dropped you and added you like really quick.
Thank you.
Yeah,
do I sound better now? Is that
you
better?
absolutely do? You absolutely do.
Okay. Sorry.
Nope, that's not. Don't apologize. Are you kidding? Thank you for doing what you did.
Yeah, it's because I'm using like my daughter's laptop, and it's a decent laptop, but it's nothing spectacular. And then I bought a headset pretty cheap, so I have no idea if it's really good. This is my phone that I'm on now, and I'm just on speakerphone, but for some reason it seems to make it better. So I'll just chill on my phone, but I can't type now. So hi.
That's okay. I'm going to pull up the comments for you then. Like, okay, I was watching LegalBytes earlier, and they were saying it's most likely the judge will allow the evidence, but inform the jury there are issues with the photos, and they didn't turn them over. Yeah, for there's the rest of it. Forensic examination. I knew that's what you were going to say.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Well,
yeah, for sure. So then, what did you have next on your show? I made you go out.
No, that's okay.
Out of order. So
what I want to show you is that what they're talking about with some of these. Not only are there gorgeous pictures of Johnny, but what Mandy had pulled is actually from the evidence here. You can see on these pictures that they're saying here when they indicate how they're supposed to identify when the image came from. Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of device it comes from, whether the metadata has inconsistencies, and if there are third-party metadata fields. Let that sink in. Okay. Third-party metadata fields. What could that mean? Like several things, right? There's lots of ways that third-party metadata gets onto a photo, transferring it from device to device, from medium
putting it into
to medium.
In a different app, right? Doesn't the it'll change if you put it into like an app to modify or change the picture.
Yeah,
So
if you're going to edit it in any way, you're going to change the size of it, or you're going to put a filter on it. Say you put it into one of those like Instagram filter things, or something like that when you go to transport, or you put it in Photoshop or something like that, or you put it in any kind of app or an album. Even it will add additional information to the metadata. It's just going to keep going. And when they say from a third party, they mean outside of what a device that the original picture was taken on. So if it's a camera or if it's a phone, outside of that metadata, like anything outside of that metadata, they mean third party, like additional. Okay. And so almost like so many, so many of the photos, like a lot, like
all of them.
These. Okay. When we say so many, like we mean there is not a single one I came across that didn't say it had issues. Not a clean shot. And especially the ones for the incident of 2015 in Australia.
Right.
And the poop, John, the bed incident with the dog or the person in the poop. Okay. That day, that fight, all of the pictures from that are all corrupt too. All of them. Okay. The bed picture altered. The floor picture altered. The apartment pictures. Okay. Metadata altered. Okay. Corrupted. Metadata inconsistencies.
Yeah. All of it.
Yep. All of it. I might have to put subscriber only on. Hold on.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's okay.
Can you talk for a minute? I don't want you to get
I will talk. And actually, I'm going to talk about what's going on right now because I do have a voice. And here's my issue with what's going on right now. This is a very serious situation that we're talking about right now. And it has to do with a man that's been falsely accused of horrific things. And there's a trial coming up. And to have people coming in and trying to take up a ridiculous beef when we're discussing something that for me, number one, is really important to me. It's something that I stand by and something that is a platform because not only women are abused. I believe women, I believe men, I believe that it happens, but it's a very important thing to me. And it just really irritates me that we're bringing some stupid beef about someone's voice into such a serious topic.
Like what's the big deal anyway? Like it's different than it was in the beginning. Everybody admits that it is, that I'm more relaxed now. What are you trying to prove? It's still me. Like, why do you give a fuck? Really?
And has anybody come and asked you, like, hey, 2 years ago, you sounded a little bit different. Like, what was up? Has anybody come to you and asked if there was a reasonable explanation other than myself?
Yeah, I mean, it's been out there that I'm more comfortable, that I used to be an instructor when I first came out. The person that I worked with, Heather, told me to use my out voice, my professional voice, the one I did instructing with, the one I used to do in business, the one where you do speeches, the one where you're trying to enunciate properly all the time and be very careful. And I don't do that anymore. I'm just me now. So that's the difference. And if you don't like it, don't listen. But it's not a big deal. It is not anything. If you're focusing on that, if that's your big issue, you need a fucking hobby. You need to go out there and touch some grass. Like, I don't know what your issue is, but it's getting old and it's not really bothering me because you actually, it's kind of funny. You're really kind of making me laugh because if I'm bothering you that much, you got issues. Because I'm not doing anything to anybody. Just out here talking as myself with my own voice, my own connotations. This is me. People that talk to me every day on the phone, people that have known me for years that talk to me all the time can tell you this is my casual, relaxed voice. And when it gets a little uppity and it gets a little Jersey, it gets a little worse. And you're trying to make it that way. And I don't want it to get that bad. I don't want it to get that bad. So I'm just going to say, finally, to all of you out there, I have only one statement to make about my voice. If you don't like the way I'm speaking, you have issue with my first videos when I was more controlled or whatever, don't watch them. Don't watch me. And personally, will you just get the fuck off my channel? Go find something else to do and somebody else to play with, because I'm not playing with you. I don't care. I don't fucking care if you like my voice or not. I don't fucking care what you have to say about it. You don't matter, because it doesn't matter. It's a little stupid thing. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Okay. I wasn't supposed to do that. My manager's going to quit.
So metadata.
I'm sorry, manager. I tried. I said I would try. I fucking said I would try, and I couldn't do it because they're fucking pedants. I'm sorry.
Well, I love you, and we're good, and we just, I'm just. It is what it is, right?
It is what it is, but damn, like, people need to just, get a fucking hobby,
Yeah.
And they're ruining it for everybody else. And I apologize, chat. I apologize for those who came here for something else and had to put up with that. I'm sorry.
Me too, because it's bothersome to me also. So,
and I apologize, Mandy.
Don't even worry. You know what? We're good. If I was tired, my Boston would kick in. I saw John said the same thing. He said he had a roommate that if he's tired, if I'm super tired, it kicks in more. If I go back east for a couple weeks, it kicks in more. If I'm around my people, it just is what it is. So let's just move on. I think that we're good. I hope everybody's here to talk about the case that's
Johnny
coming
Depp,
up.
the case.
And
That's right.
it's really super important. So, justice for Johnny Depp. Moving on.
Back to the show. Like, really, pay them no mind. Mods, they just do what you got to do. Don't even bother just timing out. You may go ahead and block them off the channel. They can deal with me later. They can come to me later to get unblocked. Block away. Block away. Okay? Don't let them disrupt everybody else. Okay, so where are we? Let's see.
We're looking at all the metadata inconsistencies. And there was one other thing that I wanted to show you. There was one where her shirt was circled. Did I send those ones?
Let me just see. I see this. The ones I have the circles are these. Here we go. These two?
Yeah. So the person that noticed that her shirt's different. Look.
Look at the cut. Oh, I didn't. I was wondering why you circled. Oh, look at that.
Didn't circle them. Yeah. The person that somebody tweeted this under Laura's, actually, I believe. And if you just kind of look through the pictures, and this was something they caught with some of her other pictures that were supposed to be taken like consecutively. It's like one of the pictures, her hair wasn't curled, and then the next picture, her hair was curled. She's just a hot.
And they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be the same day, the same episode, like within minutes of each other, and like she's changing clothes and stuff. This is oh my God, this is unbelievable. Look at the collar. This is totally different. Oh my God. Yeah. This is it. Oh,
crazy.
Thank you all for your support in the chat. Thank you, Mandy, and I appreciate it. We really do.
Totally. Yeah.
And they're not gonna, right, Mandy? They're not gonna stop us from doing what we want to do. Either one of us,
Yeah. No.
No. Apparently, they don't know us. Apparently, they don't know us very well, do they? But everything. John, right?
John was just saying something, and I'm a little behind because now I'm watching it on my TV because I switched to my phone. So,
he said
the consecutive photos. And you're absolutely right. Those photos of the mirror, the writing on the mirror when they were supposed to be taken like consecutively, but like she had gone swimming and the bathing suit was in a different place and the shower curtain or the shower handle rod was in a different looped a different way. And it's just hilarious because so the person that does all of this work, he's I don't even know who he is. They call him the Andy Files. And this guy has like studied all of these pictures to a T and studied pictures and listened to depositions. And then he puts out these, just this big PDF file and sends it to all of the players, like that umbrella guy and the lawyers and all of them. And so then they get to make videos off of the information he finds. Well, this stuff is crazy. He notices like the shirts and her hair's different. And a couple of the consecutive pictures, I kid you not, they were supposed to be from like one day to the next. But in one, her eyebrows were plucked, and in the next one, her eyebrows were grown out. And they were like,
"Oh
if
my
it was
god!" I was like, "How? That's not even an hour or a day. That's like, that's like, my god, that's like, oh wow."
So they think that she might have like, oh, I look like I have bags under my eyes today. I'm going to take a picture, and then like sat on that
I tried to fit it in. Try to fit it in. Say, oh, this would be, I look a hot mess today. Let me add this to the 2015 file. Like, what? What? Like, wait a minute. Like, remember when I said about being entitled and thinking she's going to get away with it? Because she's like so smart, right? Like, she's so smart. Like, I think it's all, her evidence is kind of pulling it through. Her evidence is kind of showing it itself. And here's the funny part. Like, I'm going through the documentation just from the last week or so. And she makes another filing. You know, I'm gonna show, like, that's the last part of this picture here. Okay. So then I'm gonna take this off and show you guys this filing. This is a filing from her side. Let me see which one it is. Over here. Now, both of them, understandably, have issues with evidence, obviously, right now. Okay. Is that the one? There it is. All right. Everybody is having issue with evidence right now. And both sides get to make an objection to the witness list and to the evidence list before we go to trial. And we're going to trial next week. What I'm showing you here, this is Amber's side. Okay. A counterclaim plaintiff, Amber, supplemental deposition designations for trial. Okay. This was just recently, March 28th, she filed these. These are changes she has to make already to depositions she submitted as evidence already from people. Okay.
She's contesting a ton of her own evidence. The woman wants her own op-ed thrown out.
I was just going to say that. The whole case is based on this op-ed. It all started with that, okay? That's how come Johnny sued the son. Well, based on this op-ed, she made this statement. The son decided he was a wife beater, made their little article based on all of these. And now she wants that thrown out. Her own op-ed. She wants discredited. What is that? Did you read the reason as to why she wants the op-ed out?
Hearsay.
Hearsay, and wait, even better, F, no foundation or authenticity. And D, document does not accurately and completely depict the facts and events or is not authentic business document. Her op-ed about Johnny Depp, okay, which they're trying to say it wasn't about Johnny Depp, but she had multiple meetings with PR and attorneys to make sure she could word it just right, that Johnny couldn't sue her because it was about Johnny. She said that. to them. They
Yeah.
worked on it together to make sure that Johnny couldn't sue her for it. So if it's not about Johnny, why did you have to talk to the PR and the lawyers about it being about Johnny? Like make that make sense.
Yeah,
right?
like emails that actually say, well, we need to skirt around the fact that this is about your ex-husband.
Uh-huh.
Because
Uh-huh.
all of that came out. So it's ugly. Ugh,
It is
it's
very, very ugly. But anyway, Christian Carino, Volume 2, the deposition. There are so many changes to all of the information is put. Not only just wording, but complete exhibits have to be replaced. And these are photographs. The ones of Deborah Lloyd also. All of this stuff. Look at all of the. This is what I was telling you. Remember, we were saying there's like 11 different documents she's had to retract or replace. Here are at least there's like 2. I think there's what 4 different depositions in here. Wait, this one has a lot in it. Deborah's has a lot of changes. Look at all this. All of this has to be changed. All of the exhibits. Look at this. Exhibit 1 has to be changed. Exhibit 24. You can't put them in here with the deposition. All of this.
And I guess, so what I heard today that I thought was fascinating is that a lot of these objections won't be objected to until they're in the middle of trial. So I was like, wait a minute. What? And then that's what they said, that it's like
even
they'll be going through trial and being objecting to these live. It's like, is 6 weeks going to be enough?
I know. I don't think so. I think we're going to be busy for a while, Mandy, obviously, because just going through the evidence on what they're going to allow and not after all of this back and forth is insane. Because here we even have them amending I.O. Tillot's. He just gave his deposition again on March 10th, and look at all the changes just from 2 weeks ago. Look at this. This is insane. All of these changes, they're going to take out whole sentences, whole paragraphs of the deposition, replacing words. Okay, this is insane. His has the most. Have you noticed how many pages have gone through on Tillot? This is just Tillot's deposition. These are just the changes, people. This is just the things he's got to retract, substitute, or correct with the attorneys. Okay.
Sunny D, it is going to be live. The judge ordered last month that there would be 1 pool camera and there will be media. Really, I'm just saying, come, I don't know. I don't think it's starting until Tuesday because they're not going to have it for jury selection, if I remember hearing that correctly.
Right.
I could Google here and here.
It is. Monday starts jury selection. A lot of channels are covering it. LegalBytes. I believe the Umbrella Guy. A lot of people. Yeah, I may even have an opportunity to be live on panel covering it myself in the morning. I'm working with someone. We're going to be testing on Friday, and if that's true, I'll put an announcement out on when it'll be. Just if you guys want to join us, if you're free in the morning, and then Mandy and I are going to work on some post coverage, of what happens day to day. Afterwards to see what we can do about getting together, because this is fun. I mean, come on, guys, this is like I'm enjoying doing this with you. It's kind of like really, really cool. You know what, Createful, really, I do agree. Just Io, really, look, she said after all those pages, he really needs to just go do a no deposition. I was saying, like, why not just like do a redo, And John's right. Like Io really seemed to panic when JD's newest attorney wasn't out. Yes, he did, because he gave a whole new he came forward again. So I do think
he deleted his IG. Like, hilarious.
That was very, 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 very funny. Now, what do you want to start with? We got about a half hour. You want to start with Johnny's witness and evidence documents, or you want to look at Amber's?
I don't want to do anything with Amber.
I think Mandy just said fuck Amber. I think she did.
She
I think she
just
just did. I think she might
she,
have. Okay. I'm with you,
she,
girl. The hell with
she
Amber.
kind
Amber, we don't care what you're contesting. We don't care.
yeah. So Amber and Katie just do something to my brain. Like I can't even like listen to them or hear them say stuff. Like I was going
Mhm,
through stuff today, um, listening to the audio with Amber and Johnny, which is
mhm.
just like just the way that she spoke to him and gaslit him and called him a baby, and he would say something and she would turn it around. I seriously like it was infuriating to hear. And so
Mhm.
I have a hard time like having sympathy for people like that after all
Mhm.
of the harm they cause people. So listening to Amber or even listening to somebody read her deposition, I can like hear it in my brain. I just no, just no. So I prefer to be happy tonight and talk about positive stuff to do with Johnny
Okay.
Depp. So
Whew.
let's stick with
I
him.
good. I got something for you here then. I have
Okay.
a 60-page contesting from the plaintiff, which is Johnny Depp, against Amber Heard's evidence. 60 pages of spreadsheets like this. Okay. Granted, there's the 2 pages in, like, there's the first page, so that would make it 59, and then 3. So 56 pages of actual spreadsheet like this that says things like lack of authenticity, hearsay, or irrelevant. Almost all of the okay.
Why is it
Let me
lacking
just authenticity.
authentication?
I don't know. Unfairly prejudicial, calls for speculation. Prejudicial. Lack of foundation.
But
Lack.
look at all the lack of authentication because you can't
Mhm.
put a bunch of stuff in that
If it can't be
hasn't
verified.
been verified.
It hasn't been verified. And unfortunately, it's not like they got to even check it for verification. So everything, and fairly so, if you don't get to check it for verification, it shouldn't be allowed to be admitted. Okay.
No,
It should not. It's lack of authenticity. This should go. It should all just be kicked. And there's a lot of it. This is all photographs and stuff. Remember, there are a lot of photographs they submitted. Okay. Lack improper character of evidence, hearsay, improper character of evidence, a lot of that. Look at all these. This is a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. This is Johnny just saying, oh no, Amber.
do
You know,
you think that the lawyers are sleeping right now?
I think Johnny's lawyers are.
You're funny.
I think
You're
I
prob-
think
you're
I think Johnny's lawyers have done a really good job this week, and I think they deserved a good night rest. And I hope they're getting it tonight.
John
I hope
said
they,
no sound. Did something happen?
no sound with me. Who
It's
do you not
probably
hear?
with it's probably me. We know this.
Who do you not hear? John, there's oh,
Huh.
it blipped. Okay, it might have blipped. StreamYard sometimes does that.
StreamYard
Hopefully
hates you.
it does. StreamYard is not my friend anymore. They used to be our friends, and now they're not. I don't know what happened. You know
Right.
how that happens. But anyway, look at this. I'm just gonna keep strolling.
Keep scrolling because it's fun.
I know. This is like, oh my god, like we're up to like 579, 590. Oh my god, it just keeps going. We're in the 600s now with the evidence. Oh my god, look at this.
I just think that it's so much. I just don't know.
And look at this. These are depositions. They have issues with these depositions.
Yeah, so a couple other funny things, not funny things, it's just things that make Mandy like scratch my head.
Things
Things that
that
make
make
me go,
Mandy go. Yeah.
like so not only did Amber decide that she didn't want her own deposition in, which I thought was just very bizarre. So Rocky Pennington is the one that was supposedly witness to all of this happen. She was the one that was there. She's not testifying, which I
Yeah,
thought was
what
weird.
happened there? Why, like that? That is gonna, Johnny's lawyer, especially his new lawyer, is gonna key on that. Like they're
Yeah,
definitely gonna be in on that.
they're using deposition questions, but not actually. She's not actually going to be there. There was another one that I thought was strange also that was, IO. They're only using deposition, but IO was supposedly the one on the phone with her when she was like claiming that Johnny was abusing her. So why wouldn't IO be there? Then there was also some information that Johnny submitted, and it seems as though Amber Heard's father may have willingly turned his phone over.
He did, yes.
Yeah, there was him and someone else. I watched the video, and Tug did a video on it. I think they all did, but just about how weird it was, because you don't have to ever turn your devices over, but under normal circumstances, if you want somebody's device, you kind of have two things that can happen. First of all, the person can just willingly give it to you, or you take them to court, you get a subpoena, and you get access to download the data. Obviously, the easier one is option A, but if that doesn't work, people go option B. Option B can take a long time.
Right.
But now, all of a sudden, Johnny is putting in his evidence some information from Amber Heard's dad's phone that basically shows that he handed it over. Like,
right.
He allowed it.
Yep,
So
and that means that all the text messaging between him and his daughter is now evidence.
Everything.
And you know what? It can actually be authenticated. Look at that. Real evidence, Mandy, going to get submitted. That's like
seriously
coming from the other side. Seriously, like I'm excited.
Oh my gosh.
Like
Advent, that was so funny. He gave the phone so the conversations could be ... heard.
dude.
Oh my God, I love it.
Thank you for that. M&M's for the chat. Everybody gets M&M's. That was
totally
great. That was
something
great.
that my husband would do. My husband does.
I like it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
And about Miss Pennington, I think John's right. She don't want to perjure herself, because let's say, okay, you mentioned, Mandy, right? The police body cam, okay, that came to the house. Don't forget, they wear body cam when they're in there showing everybody everything. And here you got everybody saying that the apartment looked like this and giving testimony, giving depositions that say this is what happened. And yet you got body cam footage that goes, no, where? What are you talking about? Where? What? Are we in the right penthouse? I mean, that's practically what the officers are saying with their testimony. Well, were we in the right penthouse? Because that don't match. Like they don't match at all. I saw some footage today on one of the streams that I watched, and forgive me, I don't remember if it was LegalBytes or Umbrella Guy or the Popcorn Planet, because I watched them all today, and several times, different ones from each of them. But one of them was showing some footage of the carpets outside the hallways, outside the penthouse, which were supposed to be covered in wine because Johnny was walking through the hallways, bouncing off walls between penthouse 1, 3, 5, whatever, how many penthouses there are, right? that are going between them. And he's spilling this big thing of wine all over the place, bouncing off the walls and doors, making this big mess. No wine anywhere on the floor anywhere. And till it comes out and answers the door in slippers. If he was so worried about all the broken glass that was everywhere that they were going to break his, it was supposed to be all over the floor and he couldn't walk anywhere because he was afraid his feet would get cut. He was wearing slippers. He didn't look very concerned. He didn't look very concerned.
Josh Drew.
Yeah, was it? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Oh,
yeah,
that was Drew. Okay, not Tilly. Okay, yeah.
yeah.
Thank you.
'Cause that
See, I told you, Mandy has the actual. Yeah, Mandy keeps the names all straight for me and gets the thing. But
some
I'm
of them.
terrible with names. Yeah, my apologies, people. I'm just horrible with names. Yeah, Tug was showing that today. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. I was
Cool.
like I said, John, I was everywhere. I was everywhere watching this stuff for the last couple of days, you know.
Yeah,
Yes.
I've been so crazy.
Yeah. So anyway,
Anyway.
this next one is actually about the witness list on why Johnny doesn't want certain people up there. He's got an objection to Julian Acker, but he actually says why. Like he doesn't just say, like I don't want them. He says that Mr. Acker should be excluded entirely for the reasons set forth in Mr. Depp's pending motion in limit, and that was the actual thing that happened before the trial, the motion to get evidence excluded. Okay. And in the motion for sanctions, and it's because it could not be verified. All right. Most of the in lemme stuff was about verification, wasn't it? It doesn't want Catherine Arnold, Amy Banks. You know any of these names? Which ones are really big here? Natasha. Oh, wait. The custodian of records for the corporate designee for the Action Property Management.
Mm-hmm.
They want that out. Is that because maybe it was improper, like how the documents were received? Or in the state that they were received in? What, they got a lot here on them. Jody. It's really not as much as over on Amber's side. There really wasn't too much. It looks pretty straightforward. Like they only went for things that were really should be left out. Notice how the op-ed isn't in there or anything, you know.
I would go back to Whitney. Let's read about Whitney. Scroll up for a sec.
Whitney. Here we go. All right. So objection. Miss Henriquez is represented in this action by Miss Heard's counsel.
That's what
that's
I
a
wanted.
good. There you go. That's a good reason not to allow her.
Read this. Read the whole thing because it's crazy. So Whitney Henriquez, for those who don't know, it's Amber's sister. So read that part, please.
Okay. Objection for this testimony because Miss Henriquez is represented in this action by Miss Heard's counsel. When Miss Henriquez was deposed in this action, Miss Heard's counsel cut short her deposition after a mere 3.5 hours, and then represented to counsel for Mr. Depp that Miss Henriquez was unable to resume the deposition for an extended period of time for medical reasons, while also asserting that Miss Heard's counsel intended to consume any remaining time at deposition by posing questions to their own client. The Monday after the Friday, March 11th, 2022, discovery cutoff, Miss Heard's counsel subsequently offered Miss Henriquez for deposition, but continued to insist that Miss Heard's counsel would consume the questioning time. Miss Henriquez should be excluded entirely due to Miss Heard's counsel deliberate and blatant efforts to obstruct her deposition. In the alternative, she should be required to sit for a further 3.5 hours of deposition by Mr. Depp's counsel before being allowed to testify at trial. Ooh.
Yeah. So they have.
Are you there? Did you just drop? I think you did. I can't hear you. You may have to drop and come back in again. You want to try? Well, we're going to talk about it until she comes back because we're going to try to get her to either drop or froze. Something happened with the connection over there on Mandy's side. Hopefully you guys could still hear me and it's not a StreamYards thing. If somebody could just say that they could still hear me, I'll try adding her back. Mandy, are you there? No. Let's see. Anyway, she will be back in a moment. Anyway, we are definitely looking at some serious opposition to this testimony. And it is, fair enough if she's not going to continue with the deposition. And if the lawyers are going to control what get asked and said, that's actually not fair to the plaintiff's side. And he's right. She should not be able to testify in court for the other side if they weren't able to get an adequate deposition from her. If they weren't able to continue the deposition or submit it in its entirety without obstruction, then that should be blocked. I mean, her testimony for either side should be blocked. And that is why they're making the objection there. Welcome back, Mandy.
Hi.
Yeah. Hi.
Oh, my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
I love the week. It's been a week for me. Okay.
Yeah, let us not discuss the week. Okay, this week didn't exist. This week is getting smited. Okay, This week is to be smited from all recollection, as far as I can tell. Not that I'm hiding from anything. It's just a bunch of bullshit. But who wants to live in that stuff? But I like that John calls her turd. He says, seems like
they all do, because
Turd found lawyers as ethical as she seems to be. I know, right? They clearly go out of the way to get the testimony thrown out. But I'm wondering if they wanted it thrown out. Like, I wonder if there's so much inconsistency there that they needed to get this thrown out, and they're doing it on purpose because everything's such a hot mess, right?
And the other thing is like, there's video out there. Okay, so apparently Whitney was on, I wouldn't say a reality show or a guest on a reality show or something. And there's a scene from it that they were talking about how Amber beats up Whitney all the time, or beat her up, allegedly. So it's like, I'm wondering if they're concerned not only about, hey, there's this clip right here of an incident supposedly that happened between you and your sister, and you've also said this about your sister. I don't know what the deal is, what they're trying to get, but because Amber's abusive, and apparently there's testimony. Remember, I think we talked about it the last time we were on, from someone about after the Australia incident, Amber's sister was on the phone with, or Amber was on the phone with Whitney and hung up the phone, or something happened, and she was like, oh my God, she's done it. She cut off his fucking finger. So, you know,
and they kind of don't want that in there. They don't want her answering questions about that, what she heard in the phone call. And I could see, like, it does look to me to be a bit obstructive. And so I do hope that sanctions are put forth, because, there's a word for this kind of stuff. It's fuckery. Like, it's what's going on here. There's some major fuckery going on. Because listen to this other objection for Jody Gottlieb. She never produced for her deposition, despite having been served with a valid subpoena. All right. It's open contempt of a California subpoena. Moreover, she was in communication with Ms. Heard's counsel prior to failing to appear for her deposition. And Ms. Gottlieb should be excluded entirely. In the alternative, Ms. Gottlieb should not be permitted to testify without sitting for a deposition. You can't go and testify for the other side without making yourself available to the plaintiff. You can't come forward for the defendant without making yourself available to the plaintiff. That's how the law works here.
Yeah, it just seems like shady.
Like, they're just like, well, I'm only gonna, okay, Amber, I'll testify for you, but I'm not talking to those other people. Like, I'm not doing it. They're just making it all bad. There's all this improper designation of custodian declaration, not appropriately included on witness list. If you didn't get there on the list, that's a timing thing. That's a protocol thing, and they're allowed to object to them testifying. So, I don't know. It seems like Johnny's lawyers just seem to know how to file a thing better too. It's neater. I like it. It's much neater. It's much more clear. I don't know, just better all around. And we're not going to go over hers. Listen, so. There are other, like, I just want to show you guys, like, in Fairfax County, if you can get here, because, this isn't magic. Fairfax County actually has, right? Fairfax County actually has a high profile cases that are big, they make them public. Okay. You can get all the documents and look at them. You just need to go to Fairfax County to get them. Okay. You just need to sign up and get in there. And because I have a feeling there's going to be a lot more coming, a lot more coming. But just since the 14th, when the witness lists came out, there's been 10 submissions in regards to it. Like, so when I say a lot, there's a lot. There's going to be a lot going on. There's definitely going to be a lot going back and forth. There's hundreds and hundreds of documents there over the last year or so to go over. There were three documents I pulled up on Amber alone, but I'm not going to do that to Mandy because I'm going to listen to Mandy. Mandy's my friend. And if she says, don't torture me with that Amber shit, I'm not doing it. Like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it at all. So, there you go.
Look at Kristen's comment. Yes, I agree.
Maybe we could have a live dedicated to Johnny, have a slideshow just to, you know what? I will put together the best pictures I can. I can do that. I could dedicate at least 10 minutes to hot Johnny stuff. If that's what you want in our very next episode, that's what I'll do. Because I'm sure Mandy would enjoy it too.
That would be great.
You listen, that man aged like fine wine. I'm a fan. I think he's a wonderfully talented actor. I've been enjoying his creative acting and his style for years. And I just happen to take objection to how he is being slandered, defamed, losing a career he didn't need to lose because some entitled little brat didn't get her way. I'm offended for him. And I want to see justice for him. I really think the way it was done was damaging to everyone involved with the Me Too movement, to real victims out there, to the process in general. I am highly offended about her hijacking the process. And look what she did to the legal system, Mandy. Look what she's doing to the actual process that happens in the court of law. She actually is taking a whinge at that too. Like, I don't have to do the right thing. Let me just alter all the photographs and submit whatever the hell I want. And I don't have to do what they say. Like, this is one entitled person. She really needs to definitely answer for a lot of this. So now next week is going to be the trial. So we're going to, Mandy and I will put our heads together on how we'll be doing some updates on that. As far as getting up to speed, the last podcast was done this week for
and it was Fairfax. So good.
Right. And we have that linked below. I have a couple of other videos of interest for you from several people linked below. I also, if you want to, before this trial starts, if you want to brush up on what happened in England with Sun, that link is there with full coverage of that. I actually watched the appeal, not the appeal, the review of the judge's order to see if he could get an appeal. I actually watched that live. And Mandy, they still wear wigs. They do.
I know. They do.
It was so cool. And I had the benefit of watching it with an Englishman. And he was explaining everything to me, like we were watching it together live, like in a joint link thing. And it was amazing. And I learned a lot about English law during that process and how they do things. And they had a panel of 3 lawyers. I mean, not judges or magistrates, whatever they call their head guys, were actually going over how the judge ruled in all of the evidence and what they could do. But over there in England, like when the judge comes, like the judge has great leeway in how they're allowed to look at evidence and what they're allowed in and what they're not. And it's based on them doing what they feel is the right thing. And they found no reason to go against what the judge actually put forth as far as settlement. They saw no reason for Johnny to be allowed to appeal. It's really hard to get an appeal there against the judge. So it's like
I'm like appalled by it. There's a few trials
John,
over time that just sort of make me go,
mhm.
what?
I know, I
That
know.
happens to be one of
Yeah.
them. It was,
It does,
um,
because the deciding factor, and I think we discussed this before, was all about the judge came forward and said, I am allowed to believe that she is a victim just based on her test, just based on her talking to me. I don't have to go any further. And that is true as far as how he's looking at the evidence.
and they
You didn't
allow
have,
hearsay. They don't
they
allow
do. Yeah.
scientific stuff. It's
Right. And
crazy.
so he was allowed to just consider her to be a victim no matter what. And that is why Johnny lost the case, because if Amber's a victim, it means that the son didn't commit libel when they said that he may have been an abuser. It was what she said. And if she's a victim, the judge decided she was allowed to say it.
Right.
And that was it in a nutshell, because she didn't have to prove she was a victim for the judge to believe it in England. That's how it's set up there. He was allowed to believe it just on things that she had said. She didn't have to prove it in black and white. It's not like a trial went that way for him to actually take it into consideration. And it was the factor that made him decide that there was no libel. That was it, that the son was allowed to say what they said. Just based on that he believed she was a victim, period. He didn't want to say how, what, where, or when. That was the only statement that mattered. Krabby says she may not drool over Johnny, but I know for a fact that what I've seen of this Amber chick, I dislike her. The issues are too important to make light of, and she is. And I agree with you. It is very, from the beginning, from the jump, when I covered this way, way, way back in the beginning with Cheshire Vic and Karma Valley. We all covered it together. I covered it on Cheshire's channel. I covered it on the channel I had with Karma. And then I covered it on my own in the beginning, just like, a couple of hour episodes. And then Mandy and I decided to refresh you all before trial. And it's been fun. It's been, now, I wouldn't say fun. It's been a little aggravating to talk about Amber, right, Mandy?
Right.
Yeah, but we love Johnny, and we do it for Johnny because we want him to get justice, and we want to see this play out. We've seen such ridiculous inconsistencies on Amber's side as far as the law goes. I don't know about you, Mandy, but it offends me being a law nerd and watching them actually just think they can get away with this kind of obstruction and ridiculousness in evidence and the retractions. The numbers of retractions alone in depositions is mind-boggling. It's just to me that they put forward this as a proper legal document and then go, oh wait, we didn't mean that, we meant this.
Yeah, there's
what
there's too many Amber has too many truths. Oh, this happened. No, it didn't. This happened. Oh, no, that date's wrong. Oh, so it happened this date. And it's like, no, there aren't 15 versions to a story. There can always be yours, mine, and the truth, but there's not yours, mine, and yours, 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 and yours. Like what, 11 times? So.
And you know what? And because of who her friends are and the kind of people that they are, and just from what I've seen in, their Instagrams and their Twitters and their articles that are about them and things like that. I don't know them. I don't really want to judge them, but I'm kind of looking forward to the ridiculous testimony that's going to come out, because it's going to be things like, I could just imagine, like I amuse myself with conversations like this. Well, we were out partying and Amber said she never did it. And I believe Amber.
Right.
because we party together and she's always been really good. She has the best wine, and she got connections and shit. Like, it's going to be like that, because that's what that whole group like that. It's going to be crazy. It's just crazy, and I really want to hear about the last argument before he had enough, when Johnny walked away, when the shit hit the bed, not the fan, but when the shit hit the bed and Johnny walked away, which, right, John, this is our favorite part, because he finally just, when the shit hit the bed, he walked away. That was it for him. And he left. And that argument there, I want to know how they're going to play that one out. Like, how are they really going to, with the police coming and everything, and with everything trying to get documented, and them going through this whole scenario, there was a lot of people there, okay? And there's going to be a lot of perjury there, okay? Because it's going to, with the body cam footage, it's going to be very hard to go against the people that came to check out the scene, okay? Who were domestic violence officers. They are trained to what to look for. They saw none of it. You have Johnny's bodyguards who saw him being 20 feet away from her in the corner screaming and yelling like he was touching her, and he was nowhere near her. They have evidence that it was manipulated, fraud, that it was set up. There's enough testimony and there's enough evidence there to prove that something really is wrong in Denmark. You know, something smells bad. Something smells bad about it at all. And the fact that she would go that far to hurt him personally, is somebody that you supposedly cared and loved about. I mean, I do hope, because at any time she could have settled with him, right, Mandy? It didn't have to go this far.
Yeah.
And she's still, but what did she do? She countersued. She said, okay, you're going to sue me for 50,000. I think I'll sue you for 100. Okay. Or 100 million, right? 50 million, 100 million.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they were talking about today on some of the other channels. It's like, you were never worth $100 million. You can't have $100 million in damages because, apparently it came out when in their divorce that she was only making 10 grand a month, but spending 50.
Yes,
so
exactly.
That's why she asked him originally in the document that she wanted 50,000 a month and the Range Rover and the penthouses, and he paid for everything and blah blah blah. It's like, wow.
Yep. Jingo says that smells, in fact, is that she has a history of abuse. Yes. Now that she's countersued, she might have made a mistake there, because that may all come up now in the countersuit. Johnny can go for it. That's going to be interesting. All her history can be put up. Thank you, Mrs. Cassandra. We're going to be clean. We're going to be up out of here in 6 minutes. And thank you for your help and for a great show prior at AITA. So, but yeah, only $10,000 a month. That's really big. She is, unfortunately, she's setting a precedence here, taking it so far, so long. She is damaging the reputation of others that are in violent situations. I don't like what she did with Me Too. I really don't. Well, and I don't like what she did to a man's career. I don't like the way, Mandy, just briefly, Warner Brothers taking a step back, are they? What's going on there? Like,
Warner Brothers is it's a shit show right now.
Yeah, like
who's the guy from The Flash that's getting in all the trouble? What's the dude's name?
Oh my God, the Christian song. Like, you guys know who we're talking about. Is it Ezra?
Ezra something?
Ezra Christensen. I don't know. Forgive us. We only know Johnny Depp. But
I just
anyway,
see a lot of it. Yeah.
Apparently there's a lot going on with him and everything. Yes, Ezra Miller. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
They're trying to clean house, but it's a little too late. In other words, they took a hard stance against Johnny and then let all this other shit happen. Over and over. They're not looking good at all. I think Johnny may even have some issue here. But that's hard because, they have such tight contracts and this and that and everything. It's really hard to sue that entity when you're in that industry. It makes for a lot of bad blood, but they did not have to do Johnny like that and let Amber go. If anything, it should have been equal. And I said this all the time. If there was any doubt, they should have canned them both. If they were going to can them, if they were going to do it to Johnny, they should have did it to Amber too.
Yeah.
Because you can't just do it one and not the other. Or they didn't have to just do that to him either. I mean, they really shot themselves in the foot, because I'm sorry, Pirates sucked after that, people. Like, come on. They ruined everything. But what they really did was try to really ruin a whole catalog of work in a man's livelihood, in his, career. Thankfully, he's made millions, and hopefully he'll be okay. I don't think he's gonna not have a roof over his head or anything like that. But it's his craft, and he should be allowed to do it and continue to do it. He wasn't ready to retire. He was still making millions and millions at the time, and he should still be. And thankfully things are turning around. He's getting some opportunity, and things are turning around, but people need to be held accountable, and it needs to be used as a lesson on how to handle it appropriately next time around, because this is going to keep happening. And you got to be fair. You can't, abuse does happen, but you got to be fair, because it also doesn't happen, or it didn't happen the way the person is saying. So you got to find a fair way. You can't just jump the gun like this. It has repercussions all the way around, and there needs to be sanctions. And Amber, if this all comes out to be not true, she needs to be sanctioned like I don't know what. Like, she should not walk away from this, without a scratch, or without, anything happening to her.
Yeah.
I was going to say something really, really, really shitty, but I didn't.
It's not about the money for him. It's just
It's
not.
It's
No.
not.
I mean,
This is right. He wasn't even arrested. Like, he didn't even get put up on charges of a domestic. There was nothing like that. You're right, John. They didn't have anything but what she said. And what she said was behind the scenes to executives. What she said was defamation. What she said was actively worked on getting him removed from things. She actively tried to ruin his career. There should be sanctions on that. They were. Icarus, this is the truth. Because the Me Too movement was so strong at the time, she went out there with that op-ed. She became an ambassador for the Me Too movement. Come on. Like, they actually held her up. And then when they found out it was a little sketchy, they kind of faded into the background there and didn't make a big deal about it. But they really should have came out and been upset with her and really actually said that, this can't happen. They didn't take a stance. They were just afraid of the cancel culture. And that is the same with most people. Most people, when put up against what's right and what's wrong, when it's a public forum, like say right here out on social media, like on YouTube or Twitter or Instagram or anywhere else, what's right. But the backlash, the mob, the pressure can keep you from speaking out. That's unfortunate, but it happens, and it's understandable. But they were worried more about their image and what would happen and what it would look like and the ramifications than doing the right thing.
Right.
They felt the pressure, and they went with the tide, and now they all look like idiots, and they have to, go with the consequences. It does, John. I'm kind of enjoying the coverage lately because it seems like Amber pissed off both Disney and Warner Brothers. So who's going to hire her going forward after hearing about her behavior? This is true because she has actually insisted that they be involved in the lawsuits. She's been stomping her feet everywhere, acting very aggressively. She don't want to listen. She's making them a headache. She is actually causing problems for them, more so than Johnny. They thought Johnny was going to be a problem because of the Me Too movement, but now look what they got. And I can't say they don't deserve it. They backed the wrong horse, And they shouldn't have backed any horse at all. It should have been neutral, in my opinion. That's a big organization. They're both actors. They should have stayed neutral till they knew. I don't, and it's hard to say because, like, we see the evidence now, so it's easy for me to say Amber was wrong. I'm sure in the beginning they had no idea. But because of the ramifications and the damage that can be done, I don't think asking for a little caution, a little bit of reasonableness before you destroy somebody's life, I don't think that's unreasonable. I don't think that's asking too much.
Have I don't know if I've ever showed you this or how. Can you go online right now and Google while we are on a live? I don't know.
What do you want me to Google?
So my husband showed me this. He saw this in a TikTok video and he knows how I am. So
Okay.
I want you to Google My wife yells at me
Okay.
and show the results. This is the craziest thing. I wanted to
Okay.
show you this once actually. So do
Okay.
that and then show it. My
Okay.
wife
Okay.
yells at me.
Okay. All right, people. Hey, you know
Trust
what
me.
happens? I'm going to trust you, but I got to tell you, I have really bad experiences with Google in live streams. But here we go. Okay. So my wife yelled, how do I deal with a wife who yells at me often?
And what does
Okay.
it say? It says go to counseling.
Yeah, it does. It says things like, okay, here's a formidable. Okay, you go to a marriage counselor. Okay, so open that one. All right. All right. The
Yeah,
first one.
yelling often is not accepted behavior, but you
Right.
should um
Yeah, look.
ask her to go to marriage counseling, do stuff like that, right?
Wait, speak to a lawyer, get all your ducks in a row financially, then divorce the nasty woman. Okay, whatever.
Not that.
Okay,
But
what the
now,
hell?
but
But
no,
I don't know.
but
I don't know.
but you
Wait, there's so much. I mean, first, let's just
just
look at the Google stuff before opening the thing. Okay,
yeah,
so my wife yells at me. There's all this. And my wife yells at me in public. My wife yells all the time. How to
yeah.
deal with it. Always give her your full attention. Okay.
Now
Uh,
listen. Now Google my husband yells at me.
okay.
So it just basically is like, go to counseling. It'll be okay. You'll work it out. This is how backwards our news.
Oh my goodness. Oh God. Domestic violence is the first thing that pops up. I see what you mean. I get it. It's
So
like go
you
to
see what
counseling. There was actually advice. My wife yells at me. They say, well, you should listen to her more often. We just saw that. They said, listen to her completely, more often, go to counseling, do this, give her respect, whatever. But you Google, my husband yells at me, domestic violence support. This is so wrong. 6
it's just the
effective
way.
ways to stop your husband. Oh my God.
It's just we need to think of this as equal. It doesn't matter who the person is.
Wait, they're using words like angry spouse. Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh my God. Good therapy when anger is a pattern. Oh my, no. Oh, that's not bad. What bothers me is number one. You see that, people? That is what comes up. This is what Johnny Depp had to deal with. This is what many men have to deal with, the automatic bias. Now, granted, there's probably, many cases that made it like appear that way, but it's still unfair bias in the court system. It is still unfair bias in the general public, especially with your employers and everything else. We want everybody to be safe. Don't get me wrong. I want everybody to be safe. I want everybody, but I want it to be fair. I don't want people losing their careers, their jobs, their reputations for something they didn't do. There's got to be a better way. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
John, totally.
Yeah.
He was. I watched that video also. Yeah, it is. And don't get me wrong. All abuse is bad. You should see me with animals. I'm more of an animal. I like animals more than people half the time. So you should see
Mm-hmm.
how crazy I can get if somebody's not being nice to their pet.
This is this
But
is sad to me that there are not as many men. I mean, granted, there are more women's victims, but there's still not enough men's victims for the amount of, men's shelters and programs and resources for domestic abuse for the amount of men out there that have it. I mean, they're actually just almost ignoring it as an issue. And it is an issue. In this case with Amber, there's more documentation that Johnny was abused than Amber. There's more visual representation of Johnny's abuse. I mean, he lost a freaking finger. We've seen him with black eyes, burns on himself, marks all over his body. Like, come on. And he wasn't even trying to document that. Right. And I agree, Krabby, that should come up for both searches. Gender shouldn't
yes,
matter. When they talked about that domestic violence should have came up for both. It should have came up because women can be the aggressor. And it's just not right. And on that, I know you needed to go within. I kept you a couple of minutes too long, but I had fun. Let's
She's
talk about next week during the week. You got
yeah,
some
it's
final
gonna
notes you want to tell them? Yeah.
I just really suggest if you are interested, or even if you don't want to watch the whole or listen to the whole series, go to the podcast. It's linked in the description. Listen to this last one. Please download it. That's the one thing I do want to say. I guess it gets counted by downloads. You can't always delete it, right? I mean, you
Mm-hmm.
can just delete, you download it when you're done, delete it,
And then,
remove it.
right.
But they're really tracking how many downloads, and it was like 60,000. And they're just two people that have been following this case, and Jax and Lauren, they're really great. So
Right.
even if you don't want to do the
Yeah.
whole thing, I highly suggest
It's
the
a
last
great
one.
way to get
Yeah.
it. The last one is great because it really kind of puts everything in a nutshell for you. We're just trying to get you ready for what you might be seeing on the trial if you'll be following it. We had some fun going over all of the different, not necessarily fun, but we enjoyed. I don't want to say fun. We thoroughly enjoyed going over all the evidence again, all the incidences in Australia, the incidents from 2015, the divorce, all of it. Just to bring you up to date a little bit, cover it a little bit better, give you something to go through. There's going to be a playlist of everything that we did. We've got all the resources down there for you to check on your own so that it makes it more enjoyable when you're watching the trial. You kind of know a little more about what's going on and how it pertains to how things will come out. And while we continue to talk about it as the court case goes on, it'll be quite interesting. Yeah.
If you're like listening to it and you're going, oh my gosh, I heard Claire and Mandy talking about that a couple weeks ago. See, we're helping.
Yeah. Yes, the link. Yeah. To answer you, Krabby wants to know if I'm providing links. There are tons of links in the description of this video to the podcast, to the Sun's libel case, to several of the videos we watched all week, Mandy and I, to Popcorn Planet, LegalBytes, The Umbrella Guy. There's even a link to Stevie's channel. Stevie's on a lot. There's links to other channels down there that are doing the coverage. You'll be able to find the live feed on all of these guys. Are all over the place giving information about it. And once I know if I'm going to be doing a live feed during the week, I will let you know. There is another channel that approached me that wants to do the live feed. I may be over there. And even if they are doing the live feed, I will provide on my community tab. As soon as I find out who's doing the live feeds, I'll make a list for you the best I can. How's that? If I'm not there, I'll at least tell you where to go. How's that? Because I'm having fun with it. I want you to have fun with it. And we're going to cover it later so you'll know what we're talking about. There is no link. Down in the description of the video is where all the links will be, Sunny D. The video, this video. So you're watching it. If you go down in the description and you hit more, you'll see tons of links for videos and for channels and for the podcast. The podcast is listed there too. Okay. All right. So on that, Mandy, thank you again. I'm glad you made some time for me tonight and we got to get this out here because I enjoyed it. I hope you did too.
Perfect. Me too.
Oh, good. Yeah. So on that, we'll talk during the week and let them know what we're going to be doing for next week. And on that, I'm going to put the outro on. You have a great night. You enjoy your evening, baby. And hey, everybody, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for tolerating disruptions and being such a great chat and enjoying this with us. And we'll see you again soon.
Bye.